Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and I'm going to start off by saying you're going to have to forgive the light in here because we have the sun coming straight through our window and it is fluctuating so much, so I do apologise for that. But we have an incredible drop for you once again this week, ranging from vintage to modern to neo-vintage as they call it, and a lot of very affordable watches for the most part. I mean, there's two watches on the table that are over £1,000. The rest of them are under that price range, and some of them under that price range by a considerable amount, and there is a great selection. So I look forward to showing you these watches. Now, I do want to say a huge thank you for another incredible week. Last week was stupendous, so I really do appreciate it. And this week has been great as well, so thank you very much. As always, continue sending me your watches for sale. If it's not something we will buy, we will look at consigning if it is within the price range that makes sense for both of us. So do have a look at that, and do forgive me if I don't buy your watch. You know, it's just that I can't buy everything. I wish I could. I wish we had unlimited capital, but unfortunately we don't. Now, I do want to say it is a Bank Holiday Monday coming up. Now, obviously you're watching this video likely on Saturday, and the following Monday is Bank Holiday, which means we cannot ship out any watches. Now, any orders placed over the weekend up until 10 AM on Monday, we will have packaged up and shipped on Tuesday to be with you Wednesday. So get in your orders nice and quick, and as I said, up to 10 AM on Monday, because I am not going to be in the office from Monday until likely Thursday, maybe even Friday, because next week I'm going to be up in Leicester. It is my mum's wedding, so we're going to be there attending that, and I'm going to be very busy over there. Now, I'm still going to be on my phone, obviously not on the wedding day, but I'm still going to be on my phone. I'm going to have my laptop. I'm still going to be able to send invoices, take payments, do everything like that, reply to you guys and girls, so don't worry, I'm not going off the radar. I know some people get very concerned when Kibble goes off the radar for a day, but I'm not going to, so don't worry. So continue as usual, and we will ship your watches as soon as we're back. Rest assured you will get your watch. Now, before we dive into the watches on the table, let's take a look at what's on wrist, and it is a very, very cool watch. It is the Marlowe Morar, and you'll have to forgive me if I'm absolutely butchering that name, based on the Loch Morar in Scotland. This is a great British company based in Scotland. Really, really cool sort of design philosophy and brand philosophy and everything like that. And this watch, unfortunately, didn't do too well for the company. A lot of people really like the design, but just wouldn't bite the bullet. So unfortunately, the team over at Marlowe have had to discontinue this range, which means it is on offer at £300 a watch. This is in no way an advertisement or sponsorship. I paid full price, just like the rest of you will, for this watch, and I'm very, very happy with it. I think the design is great, it's unique, it's different, it is not just copying another watch, and that is something I'm really into at the moment, you know, unique design. I think they've absolutely nailed it, so go check these out if you are interested. Now that that is all done and out the way, let's begin with the 9 watches we have on the table. There were more, but you guys and girls keep buying them quicker than I can get them ready to go on the website, so you'll have to forgive me if some of the pieces are missing that you've maybe seen on Instagram. But let's start with this awesome Breitling. So here we are starting with an absolutely awesome offering from Breitling. This is the Breitling Superocean Heritage Chronograph 44 in blue, and the reference, to be precise, is quite a long one. It is A1331361 C1A1. What a mouthful, but there you go. A really awesome diving chronograph, which is beautifully done and beautifully executed in my opinion. Breitling really do offer a hell of a lot of watch for not a lot of money, especially in the pre-owned market, which obviously this one is. Now, inside here is the Breitling Automatic Caliber B13, which is basically a modified version of the ETA or Valjoux 7750, so a nice reliable movement that a lot of people know. And this exact model is from August 2018. It does come with its full box and paperwork, and as you can see, it comes on its Breitling mesh bracelet. All the spare links are provided as well, so rest assured it will fit your wrist regardless of what size you have. And as always, I try and say this as often as I can, this is a pre-owned worn watch. It is unpolished. Now, we can have it fully polished, bracelet and the obviously head of the watch, so you will have a watch that looks brand new. We can do that. It will obviously be an extra cost, but it's something we can offer, because sometimes people go, you know what, it's just a bit too worn for me, and then they'll go spend £500 on a different one, £500 more on a different one, when we can obviously get it fully done at a lot less than that. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. So here we go. Now, for those of you who know, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, so not a very big wrist, but this is quite a big watch, but I feel like I can just about get away with it. It is 44mm by 54mm lug to lug. 15.5mm thick and 22mm lugs. A hell of a lot bigger than what I'd usually wear, but that being said, this is quite comfortable. Now, I'd personally wear it on a leather. I do like the mesh bracelet, but for me, I think it'd just work better on a leather. But a really cracking watch for a very good price. When you consider what else is in this range of diving chronographs, you know, there isn't really a huge amount of option at this price range. And as the sun's come out, let's take a look at this beautiful 18 karat gold Baume Mercier. Next up is a favorite from us here at Kibble Watches. This is a really gorgeous 18 karat pink gold Baume Mercier from 1956. The reference is 3103, and inside here is a Baume Mercier signed 17 jeweled bumper automatic. So the automatic rotor, this is basically before they figured out how to put the rotor on a center rotor post and it would spin all the way around. So inside here it's on a pivot basically that springs back and forth with two springs on a sort of bridge, and they bounce off each other. So when it's on wrist, you will feel and you will hear that bumper going. For those people who don't know about bumper automatics, they often see a bumper automatic and think the rotor's broken. That is not the case. It's just a different way of having a self-winding watch. But you can see you've got all the hallmarks on here, the Swiss import mark, Swiss hallmarks as well for 18 karat gold, and obviously you've got the reference and serial number stated on there as well. Really nice condition. The crown has been replaced at some point, but with a correct style crown. Really gorgeous dial, which is showing signs of age. You know, it's got some wear and patina, but you know, it all adds to the charm in my opinion. You've got those beautiful sword shaped hands and sub-seconds down there, and the case is the highlight here. The shape of that case and the way it flanks down to the lugs is absolutely stunning. It's like a pod on top of a watch. Really cool, but let's show it on wrist. So the dimensions may have you believe it's quite a small watch, but here it is. It is 33mm by 39mm lug to lug, only 10.5mm thick and 18mm lugs. Really well proportioned, really well designed, beautiful timepiece, so go check it out. From there, let's actually go to this awesome Zenith tank. Okay, next is a birthyear watch for me. This is a really cool 1997 Zenith Port Royal 5, as it's called. I've nicknamed it, obviously, the tank. You can see why. Anyone who knows me, when I get these rectangular watches in, I love to call them the tank because it is the tank design, really. You know, obviously Reverso do it and everyone like that, but often people know the rectangle watches as tanks. But this is a really stunning watch, really beautiful design, exploding Art Deco numerals, as you can see, with the lume in the hands. Even has some lume on the dial as well. Correct that? No, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does right down there. I thought it did. We're going to leave that in. There you go. Sub-seconds down there at 6 with the exploded numerals around the side, which just works really well. And interesting, the shape of this case is slightly curved, and that crystal is also curved, so it gives a very interesting profile on the wrist. A signed crown over there, as you can see, signed screw down case back, and inside here is a Swiss quartz movement. It is actually the Zenith quartz caliber 877, and as I said, it is from circa 1997. If only I could keep them all, this would be staying in the collection as well. It doesn't come with any box and paperwork. We've paired it on this very nice black strap, which I think works really well. It's not too dressy and it's not too casual. I think it's that nice balance in between, but here it is on wrist, so it wears bigger than my personal Cartier tank. It's 29mm by 40mm, ignore me, it isn't. It's 29mm by 43mm lug to lug, only 7mm thin. So super thin on the wrist, and 20mm lug. So that 20 wide mil lug helps to make it sort of wear a bit bigger if you're worried about it being too small. And if you're worried about it being too big, trust me, it wears really well. It's that perfect balance in between. I kind of wish they made a tank in the size, but there you go. Really gorgeous watch, very affordable for what it is. So go check it out and see all the photos. Sticking to the rectangular watch, let's actually go to the most affordable watch on the table, the Citizen Eco Drive tank. So the most affordable watch in this drop, and it is a Citizen Eco Drive tank, as I've called it. A very cool watch from the circa 2000s. Inside here is obviously an Eco Drive, which is powered from the dial. So the dial is like a solar panel, and the dial is what is interesting about this watch. It has vertical lines and it looks almost milky. It's really cool. Very hard to sort of describe. It's a mother of pearl milky-esque dial without being either one of those, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But a really cool watch, simple two-hander. and just a really gorgeous design. It is unpolished. We can get it polished for you, but again, you know, it's less than £100 this watch, so I'm not too sure if that's something you want to do, but a really cool design nonetheless. So very, very cool. Go check this one out on the website, and let's talk about dimensions. So this one is 29mm by 40mm lug to lug. There we go. So really nice proportion on the wrist. It is only 4.5mm thick. This strap, I believe, is thicker than the watch, which is insane. Only 19mm lugs as well, so it wears super well. We've got it paired on this nice suede, which I think works really well with that sort of milky dial, as I said. So go check this one out, see the extra photos, and pick it up for an absolute bargain. And let's bring it back up over here to this awesome diver from Squale. Now, it is no secret that I like Squale. I mean, we've had quite a few in recently. We've had a really interesting Azzurro blue, and now we've got this very interesting one. So this is a Squale 50 Atmos 1521, which is obviously the reference, which has this iconic case shape and the way it wears on the wrist, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this is known as the Supermat limited edition for Page and Cooper. Really interesting design, very, very nice, and a very reliable watch, especially with an automatic ETA 2824 inside. And this one is from June 2014. It does come with its full box and paperwork. And as you can see, it's got a bead blasted case, which is super unusual to see on a watch like this. It has got Squale written on the side. Very nice bezel. The bezel has got a few marks, as you can see. We have captured those in the macros as well. The crystal is free of marks, which is obviously what matters the most, but a really nice matte dial, matte case. It just works super well, especially with that pop of orange in that second hand. And as you can see, we've done our best to pair it on a very fitting strap. So we found this leather strap with orange stitching, which I think really works with the overall design of this watch. But, you know, it being the dimensions, it is a 20, you can swap that out very easily. A rubber strap would also look great. And here it is on my wrist. Now, as I said, I am very surprised by how well these all wear every single time. Really nice and well-proportioned watch at 41.5mm by 48 lug to lug, right under that 50mm sweet spot. 12.5mm thick and 20mm lugs. Endless options, and they really do hug the wrist. As you can see, the way those lugs curve down, it just grips the wrist nicely, so it wears very, very well on the wrist despite its wider size. So I wouldn't be scared of this one if you are worried about the size. And then another Zenith on the table, one that offers insane value for money, if you ask me. A beautiful automatic Zenith. Definitely one of my favorites from this drop, and it is super undervalued in my opinion, especially when you take a look closer and realize just how amazing this is. This is a 1990s Zenith automatic with Breguet numerals on the dial, and the dial looks almost lacquered or enameled, as you can see. When you catch that light, I've got to say, I believe this is probably lacquered, so it just glows right there, as you can see, beautifully gloss, and the printing is done so well. Very, very nice. And you've got those leaf style hands, Breguet numerals, date over there. This is an acrylic crystal, so it can be polished up as well, and it is a gold plated case, and that is where the value becomes, you know, very apparent, because gold plating isn't as desirable as obviously steel or solid gold, so it means this can be had for an absolute bargain. You have got a steel back, which is a clip-on back. Just a overall really, really nice design. And inside this is the automatic ETA 2892-2, a very reliable movement. And the reference is 27.0160.462. And as I said, it is from the 90s. And here we go on wrist. As you can see, we paired it on pretty much the same strap that's on the Citizen. I think it works really, really well, especially with this dial. You know, again, that sort of milky, eggshell, creamy colour. Which just works super, super well. But 34.5mm by 35mm lug to lug, so it is very round on the wrist. Only 10mm thick and 19mm lugs, so endless options with certain suppliers, so I wouldn't worry too much about that lug width. But this strap pairing, I think, works really well. We have taken the quick release out to make it fit a bit better, so there you go. Next up to the most unapologetic watch in its design, the Mido. Unapologetic is certainly one thing to call this Mido. What on earth is this? It is super cool. I absolutely love it. I think Mido are super undervalued in the vintage world anyway, but then when you get absolutely wacky designs like this, and they can be had at such an affordable price like this one, I think that is where the value comes in. As you can see, we've got it paired on its original Mido sign bracelet. A very, very interesting and unusual design, something you won't see often at all. This is a 1980s Mido Commander automatic. The reference is 8689. And inside here is the automatic ETA 2836-2, a very reliable movement, so you haven't got to worry there. It's got its Mido sign crown, Mido sign caseback, which actually still has its sticker on the back as well. So this, whilst this isn't new old stock, you know, it has got scratches and wear. It is in very, very good condition for its age, and just overall super nice with that fume dial. You've got that weird outer ring with the loom. You know, it is very, very of its time, and that means some people will absolutely hate this watch, and that is okay. But some people, like myself, will find the charm in the fact it is so of its era. But let's show it on wrist. And here it is on wrist, a very unusual shape, but it wears super well. It is 40.5mm by 39mm lug to lug. So it is wider than it is long, 11mm thick and 20mm lug. So you could actually put it on a strap if you preferred, but there you go. Now this bracelet does only fit a 6 3/4 inch wrist. So if you have a bigger wrist, you're gonna have to either try and find a link, I don't know how you're gonna do that, or a clasp extender, or wear it on a strap. But there you go. Super interesting design, very, very cool. Go check it out. And last but not least, we have two Dan Henrys. Let's look at them both at the same time. Why not? So we have two Dan Henrys, and I thought I'd show them both together because they're both super interesting, both incredibly affordable, and both have really unique merits each. So on the right over here, we have the Dan Henry 1970 Compressor automatic diver. As you can see, it's the no date model with the interesting grey and the orange, rather than the full orange, which I think is actually a lot nicer. We've had a lot of these Dan Henrys, and this is my favourite so far. And on the left over here, we have a really gorgeous Dan Henry 1964 Gran Turismo chronograph. Again, no date. Now, unfortunately, both of these watches come as watch only. There is no box or paperwork with them. Both are in worn condition, but very, very fair. And this one doesn't come with its bracelet, it just comes with this leather strap. But let's show it here a little bit closer. Beautiful panda design, really well executed. You've got still remnants of the sticker on the crown. You've got the car on the back as well, which is nicely done, and it's original Dan Henry strap with buckle. But a just overall very nice design, and we'll show it here on wrist. And this is where this watch really comes to life for him or for her, in my opinion, because it is 37.5mm case by 44.5mm lug to lug, 13mm thick and 19mm lugs. Beautifully proportioned, very, very wearable on any size wrist, in my opinion, and it just looks elegant and it sits nice and low. And then we have this bad boy, the Compressor diver, which is really, really awesome. I've always liked this model, and I've even owned it myself a couple of times as well. It's just a hell of a lot of watch for not a lot of money at all. And inside this, sorry, inside the other one was actually a Seiko Mecha Quartz VK63, and inside this one is an automatic Seiko NH35, so a very reliable, very good automatic movement. That one is limited to 1,964 watches, and this one is limited to 1,970 for their namesake as well. So here we go on wrist. This is 40mm by 46mm lug to lug, 14.5mm thick and 22mm lugs. This looks really great on a brown leather strap as well, so don't be scared to swap it out if you don't like this original Dan Henry Tropic, but it is very, very comfortable, I do have to say. You've got obviously the top crown for the inner rotating bezel, as you can see, and then the bottom screw down crown to change the time, as usual. So go check these two out for a absolute steal. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is this week's drop. Another another affordable drop, which I'm trying to bring you guys and girls more of, because you seem to want more of that, whilst we do obviously have a lot of you guys and girls who want the bigger stuff, and we will continue to get that in, don't worry. We also are going to try and keep providing the affordable stuff, because, you know, at the end of the day, that's where I started, and it's where the business began, so I want to continue to provide that where I can, and as long as it's good quality stuff that is still serviced and backed by our warranty and everything like that, we will do so. But there you have it. I hope you're all keeping well out there. We are coming close to the end of lockdown, fingers crossed if everything goes to plan here in the UK, so some level of normality is coming. As of now, we can still do appointments at the office in Clerkenwell, so do send us an email. It is strict appointment only. You can't just turn up, you can't just send me a message and say we could be there in half an hour. It doesn't work like that. Let me know ahead of time, and as I said, next week we will not be in the office, but do email, because we may be in sort of the end of the week Friday. But there you go. We will see you all again next time. Take care.